things are not looking good for Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Vanity Fair just put out a massive report about their efforts to eschew the royal label and become American media moguls. The title of it is American Hustle. 5 years after leaving the monarchy, Meghan and Harry are trying their damnedest to just be normal moguls. They just want to be normal, private, ordinary media moguls with Netflix deals and podcasts
Respect
and
my
celebrity
privacy.
friends. And I'm sure that they are no stranger to the practice of calling paparazzi on themselves. But there were a lot of different revelations from this report, and it's behind a paywall, which is infuriating. So I went and investigated for myself. It kind of seems like a veiled hit piece on Meghan Markle specifically. It doesn't necessarily make Prince Harry look as bad, although he does look pathetic, as he always does. It more so fueled the rumors that Meghan Markle is a sociopath. So here were some of the key takeaways. Staff allegedly needed therapy after working with Meghan Markle.
I'm not here to defend Meghan Markle, but if that's true, you're a dork.
Well, this issue was already brought up. I think we did cover it on the show, but they decided to reiterate all of those claims in the Vanity Fair piece.
Mm-hmm.
They made sure to mention as well that both Meghan Markle and Prince Harry declined to do interviews for this because they knew that the cover report was going to make them look bad. So they just didn't want to associate it with them at all. But this is before they left England and moved to Montecito. It claimed others described taking extended breaks from work to escape her scrutiny, exiting their job and undergoing long-term therapy after working with Meghan. A source told the writer of the report that she felt if Meghan chose to acknowledge her own shortcomings or personal contributions to situations instead of adopting a perpetual victim role, her perception might be better.
Yeah.
What a revelation. That's really good advice if only Meghan Markle would listen to it. Also, allegedly, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's neighbors in LA don't like them. Their neighbors have slammed them as the most entitled, disingenuous people on the planet. This is all coming from anonymous sources, but one anonymous local told Vanity Fair they moved away from England to get away from the scrutiny of the press, and all they do is try to get in the press in the US.
Bet you there's like a guy who works for these magazines whose name is Anonymous Sources, so they can be like, anonymous sources say.
Another resident who has never met the couple referred to the duo as the Prince and the Starlet. Other negatives attributed to the pair include increased visits from out-of-towners, getting impossible to walk in, booking at the local restaurants because of their renting out these establishments, and possibly even increased housing prices based on their residence in Montecito.
So it's no longer thanks Obama, it's thanks Harry
Markle.
and Meghan. Thanks Markle.
Also, allegedly, Meghan Markle did not come up with her own idea for her podcast, Archetypes. This is the podcast that she goes on to complain about how women are downtrodden and forced to embody very diminutive roles in society. They're degraded into different tropes, archetypes, if you will. She did not come up with this idea. This was probably workshopped by a whole team of people who thought that it would make her look good.
I mean, okay, maybe I'm just cynical and we look at this stuff all day, but when I look at somebody like her get a podcast like that, I don't for a single second think that she sat down one day with like a whiteboard and a notebook and like planned all this out. I think that she's a product of a marketing firm, a PR agency, and a bunch of other professionals whose job it is to create content slop for everybody to consume. She's merely the front face of it.
There's
That's
no
not
authenticity.
shocking to me. Her lack of authenticity shouldn't be surprising to anyone. That's on you, the consumer, if you go to Meghan Markle for authenticity.
That's fine, really. But the problem with it is that she tries to curate the vibe of authenticity with this fake voice. She does this fake voice on the podcast. I unfortunately have listened to a few episodes of Archetypes, and I regret every minute of it. But she does this really fake, heartfelt yoga instructor voice. She's like whispering in your ear about feminism and the archetypes that us women are sadly we're so put upon in society, and it's really sad that we're so degraded and we're just not allowed to be ourselves. We're not allowed to express our true emotions because they just call us bitches.
I bet you it's a trigger where, like, when she's at home, she uses that voice when she's mad at him, and he knows he's in trouble.
She calls him Your Royal Highness when she's mad at him.
Listen, Your Highness.
Listen, Your Highness. Now, this is the worst part. This is the absolute worst part of the report. I always thought this. People have been talking about it for a while, that Meghan Markle seems to want to be Princess Diana. Like, she wants to embody Diana's whole persona. She wants to emulate her in every way to the point where it's creepy. And people almost think that she imitated Diana in order to make Prince Harry fall in love with her, because he has this unresolved trauma from losing his mom. She's going to swoop in and take that place in his life.
I mean, that's the movie
I mother him.
That's the movie I want to see.
Yeah, well, it's been confirmed. She allegedly, they have this type of relationship where she's kind of the mommy wife to him, and he looks to her to handle all of the stressful situations they end up in. She allegedly is re-parenting Prince Harry. Re-parenting him.
Tom King could write this movie.
A source familiar with the couple described their dynamic as Meghan having a caregiver role in which she is the one who makes things happen. She wears the pants in the relationship, but also is the mommy. They noted that Harry has changed since entering the relationship, saying he would previously pop into the palace's press office where he may seem a little bored when asking questions, but also keen. However, they added that they cannot imagine the Harry of today being willing to engage with the media in search of purpose. The source concluded, I don't want to be like, oh, it's an Oedipus thing or whatever, but it kind of feels like she's re-parenting him in a way.
Yeah, okay.
Super creepy.
Yeah, but believable.
Like, that's kind of sociopathic for you to, like, come up with a plan for how to reel someone in, psychologically weaponizing their trauma
straight
against
out of a movie
them.
plot.
Like, in order to seduce him, she had to kind of meld herself onto who she believed his mother to be. Very weird. Yeah. And sadly, it's not just celebrity couples. Like, there are a lot of couples with dynamics like this nowadays. I was just ranting about this to you off air. It seems like the new moray of dating dynamics is women taking on all the control in the relationship and being that kind of mommy figure. And that almost seems to be what a lot of young guys are looking for now. It's like mommy GF.
Well,
like, they want to be taken care of and nursed. Figuratively, of course.
I mean, it halves out their power dynamic anyways, given that he comes from royalty, right? So it just puts them on some type of weird quasi-level playing field while she does all the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were other parts of this talking about their business ventures. Allegedly, they just don't come up with any of their own business ideas.
Again, that doesn't surprise me.
They're just, it's just, what's surprising is that these companies like Netflix or these Spotify executives are willing to throw tens of millions of dollars at two people who don't have a single idea what to do with it. Like, they're just begging them to make something, anything that people will listen to or watch.
That's even better for them, because what the studio or the agency wants more than anything is the creative control. They don't want somebody who's going to have heavy opinions on how it should look. They want to use your image and likeness and then mold you into whatever they want you to be. So it's actually better for them to have docile clients with name recognition and visibility points.
Well, allegedly, Harry is the docile one. Meghan Markle is the control freak.
Yes.
But the control freak who is playing awfully hardball for someone who has nothing to offer.
Yeah.
For people to view or listen anything she does. I think they were trying to portray Harry as the victim in this story.
I mean, that's how it feels like it's supposed to be portrayed.
That's why it feels kind of planted. One of the theories here is that this is actually commissioned by the royal family in order to salvage Harry's reputation while throwing Meghan Markle under the bus, claiming that he's alone, he's dumb, he didn't know any better, he misses his family.
I mean, that doesn't help him. That just makes him look helpless.
It does.
Kind of sad.
People are more willing to sympathize with someone who's in the victim role than the perpetrator. Yeah. And it would at least give him an out, an excuse for why he treated his family the way he did. But yeah, I clearly see that this dynamic is playing out, and it's not something. It's not like a rare thing these days. Like,
she does have an insanely negative media portrayal. Like, she just is very disliked.
And it seems like there's nothing she can really do to recover from it.
It would have to be an extreme level of self-actualization and self-realization and the ability to laugh at yourself. She would have to allow herself to be the butt of the joke. You know what she could do? The roast of Meghan Markle.
That would be incredible.
If she could
I would love to see that.
If she could do the roast of Meghan Markle and maybe do some type of meta role where she plays a character that's exactly as she's being described here.
That would be incredible. Yeah, she should.
Yeah. That's how she could rehab her image.
I think that you should be her consultant.
Yeah.
You should be her PR consultant.
I do want to join the consultant class.
That would be the perfect in for you.
I would love to be paid obscene amounts of money to tell somebody to let themselves be humiliated.
Another rumor that was going around is that Meghan Markle was never pregnant with either of their two children, and in fact wore a fake pregnancy belly while hiring surrogates to gestate her children, unbeknownst to the public and the media.
I mean, that's bonkers considering how open the public is to that type of... Like, in fact... selling a story of being, and again, if we're assuming that she's willing to lie by wearing a pregnancy belly, then I'm assuming she'd be willing to lie about being infertile, or actually being infertile would be an extremely sympathetic story for her.
Well, that was actually part of their docuseries on Netflix. She said that because of all the stress that the media put her under, it caused her to have a miscarriage.
Okay, that would not...
That was the story that she put out there.
That would not ingratiate her to the public, because a lot of people would be like, I don't know if I buy that. But just...
And it's not something anyone can relate to.
A tragic story of just a woman who wants badly to have kids and can't is an extremely, that's a tale that people can get behind, that they can understand why you would have a surrogate.
Well, I deeply object to surrogacy on moral grounds, and that is becoming a more and more pronounced conversation as it becomes a more and more common practice and more financially accessible to people other than celebrities.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe this one. The truthers, the Markle truthers.
Markle truthers.
On this one. But one rumor I am willing to entertain is that Netflix is considering axing her show altogether before it even comes out. It's already been delayed by 2 months out of sensitivity to the LA wildfire victims.
I mean, I don't see why you don't just put it out and let the hate watching roll in.
That would be beneficial for Netflix at the very least, not for Meghan Markle. But yeah, there's now betting odds on Meghan Markle's show either getting axed before it even gets released or getting canceled after 1 season.
I don't know if I buy that. Okay, maybe that.
That's more likely?
That one makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I highly doubt that they're going to trash it.
It's more common for these types of things to not be canceled, but just another season just never comes out. And then they're like, why didn't another season come out? And then everybody forgets.
The latest odds are that they believe Meghan Markle's show is going to get canceled after 1 season. The hate watching isn't going to keep it afloat.
No, hate watching doesn't, because hate watching rarely ever makes it past the first season. Rings of Power, Velma, they got the hate watchers in season 1, and only the most dedicated of hate watchers stay around for season 2.
Yeah, well, the last rumor that I saw going around, which I also don't believe, is that their divorce is imminent.
Okay.
I don't think Harry is ever making it out of the sunken place, realistically.
Okay.
We've seen other examples of this. Ben Affleck is one of them.
Yeah, but he got out of it. both times eventually.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, but when you're in that place,
And Ben Affleck
you're like
benefits-
fully brainwashed.
Ben Affleck benefits from it because misery makes you a great creative. So
Yeah, Harry doesn't have any
Yeah.
creative chops,
So
so
if
it's not going to
Harry-
come like there's nothing that we're going to enjoy to come out of his pain,
yeah,
right?
yep,
There'll be no payoff, only pain,
it's very sad.
and we continue laughing at their downfall.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.